How's it going, everybody? The first day of Crucible Season 6 is done, and after doing my 2 accounts and getting lots of feedback from other content creators and other players, I gotta say there are 3 burgeoning defenses that seem to be giving everybody huge problems. We're gonna break that down in this video, talk about why they're difficult, talk about the current counters that are being applied to them, and maybe some potential solutions. But before those problems are solved, you might want to throw them up on defense right now to get some easy wins and help yourself grow in the rankings. I'm myself, and maybe for Grandmasters on 2 accounts, and I hope you can join me there. Let's get into it. So our very first stage, stage 1, seems to be the absolute best home for the Xtreme team because they have so much going on for them. They cause so many problems for players. Stage 1 is going to be the stage where Raiders and Skirmishers get 200% damage increase if they are below 50% health. And the thing with the Xtreme team, particularly the version with Cyclops, Rogue, Forge, Gambit, and Nightcrawler, is they have very consistent damage. The team has multiple health triggers to defend them from actually getting KO'd, and you gotta pick your poison on the kill target. So in the matchup we see right here, I'm actually using Masters of Evil with Apocalypse, but this team has a Sunspot. So I could just go ahead and kill the Rogue here. This was also a substantial punch down. But if it was a different sort of matchup and Cyclops was on the field, even with Forge being stunned, if a kill happens, he gets the 100% speed bar, which is going to, that speed bar is used to take off the stun, and then he gets his turn, clears debuffs, gives a bunch of buffs to his team, and then they get to pop off. So this was on a punch down. Master of Apocalypse seems to be pretty solid. I did see a lot of pictures of that doing punch downs. And then of course there is the Superior 6 with Vulture coming in. And this one we see is not as forgiving as it was last season. Last season, even though you couldn't hold any debuffs on them unless they had trauma or was putting them in stealth, this one was pretty ugly last season. But this season, it's even worse because of those health triggers. So right now, this is again me doing a slight punch up here, but there is no Rogue here, so watch the difference. I'm able just to attack who I want when I want. If there was a Rogue and we just dropped the Forge low, bam, here comes a taunt. That is one of those health triggers that you want to have on the field there. You end up attacking the Rogue, you end up wasting a lot of turns, Forge gets to his ability, maybe you end up killing the Rogue, Cyclops gives speed bar to Forge, Forge brings Rogue back, oh my god, the humanity, everything starts going crazy. But as you see, without Rogue, we're doing okay. We're doing fine. This is a slight punch down once again, but here's the problem. We still have Gambit, who is still alive. He's going to shake off that offense up after this, and if he was able to get another turn off, we'd be in huge trouble because I don't know if you guys know of this other streamer, Mr. Mobile Gamer, but he had a little bit of an experience. Let me share that with you real quick. So here we are with Mobile Gamer, and let's watch what happens. So the pick your poison part is as follows. Forge can revive, so you kind of got to kill him first unless you have a lot of permanent kills on your team. And then you have Nightcrawler and Gambit to worry about. Both are great raiders, both of which at this point of the match have their ultimate ready. You got to pick who you're going to let ult you. And then there's Rogue, who you can actually switch Rogue to a raider. There's actually no rules saying you can't do that. And with the diamonds we just got from last season, a 3-diamond Rogue, throwing her special followed by her ult is going to absolutely eviscerate enemies. So let's watch what happens here when he kind of picks the wrong poison. But did he have really a good option? Let's find out.
Oh, do I do this? Nightcrawler? Yeah. Not enough damage! Get off my lawn! No! Oh my god! Holy moly!
Yeah, so that's not even
God.
offense up. You will notice that that Rogue had offense up. She was ready to special and immediately followed it back up with an ultimate because she would have got 75% speed bar. So you can see my point here. That is the optimal setup in my opinion. It's not Sunspot. Sunspot replaced by Cyclops. Even though Sunspot makes the follow-up attacks a little bit more miserable, Cyclops helps you get that first defense win, and that is going to be the win that's going to help you secure your Crucible victories. All right, let's move on to stage 3. Surprise! The next juggernaut defense team is the Superior 6 in stage 3. This stage, I think, was built for them, but maybe erroneously, because it's insane what this stage does. This is your either mirror match, risk it for the biscuit, or your efficiency killer or your burn it so you can kill it when it's exhausted, this room is an absolute nightmare. So why? Well, every single buff you get will extend all your other buffs. Safeguard can be extended, by the way. So what are your on-spawn buffs? Craven is giving you Safeguard, Spider Slayer is giving you offense up, and the Crucible global rules are giving you defense up this season on the defensive end. So that's why the mirror match doesn't really work out that great. Lizard is going to steal and spread all of his buffs to his allies. So he has deflex and death proofs on spawn, and the stolen buffs he gets in the mirror match. If your Lizard goes first, he puts up immunity, and then the enemy Lizard will steal immunity and give it to his team. Notice the side on the right has immunity in all its characters, and the side on the left doesn't. So right away, there's a horrible RNG check there. The side on the right here doesn't even have Doc Ock adjacent. Doc Ock would have been giving even more deflex to the Lizard, causing just atrocious issues. And it's important to note, Skrull, though a really good answer to Superior 6, isn't going to be the catch-all answer here, because extending buffs doesn't trigger the Skrull passive the same way applying buffs does. So a really well-built Superior 6 will outlast that Skrull ultimate, will survive it, and then the Doc Ock regens that never fade because they keep getting extended, they're going to make that Superior 6 team pop back up. And Super Skrull doesn't have the same defensive capabilities that the Superior 6 team does as a unit. So it's a total nightmare. Like, Skrull, I think, is going to be a risk. Next time I see a Superior 6, I'm definitely going to try Skrull on it with maybe an Apocalypse on it, but even that is scary because Apocalypse has immunity that Lizard is then going to steal, and they're going to have Safeguard because when Goblin does his ultimate, if there's a Lizard on the field, they put Safeguard on everybody. Like, it's going to be an absolute crazy efficiency nightmare. The problem is, your Superior 6 is a huge answer to the Xtreme team, so you're kind of canceling that out, which means you're going to have to be more creative, probably using Master of Evil, probably using Apocalypse, maybe using Skrull in the Xtreme team. It's going to be a give and take. It's definitely going to be balancing your books kind of thing on how you do your counters, but this is an absolute monstrous team. I won my Crucible because my opponent lost the first match because he had, again, the misfortune of my Lizard going second, and the second matchup, this one, he kills my Lizard, and then he immediately times out. This is an absolute monster defense team. I think the best solution that I'm probably going to end up implying by, you know, week 2, week 3 of this season is probably going to be a burn attack followed by a really big new Warriors. And even that, I'm a little concerned about. Let me know what your guys' experience has been with Superior 6 in Stage 3, whether you've used it on the offensive or defensive side. But they seem nigh unkillable. They really do seem nigh unkillable. All right, and the final Juggernaut team, which kind of sneaks their way in there just because of what the other two teams demand as counters, is going to be your Secret Defender team in Stage 4. So they normally open up with their specials anyway, with the exception of Hardlight, who that is a very big ability to lose, right? That's a huge turn meter to lose. But they still have the turn 1 stun, they still have Robbie Reyes ability block, bleeds, and then they snowball. Photon still has these crazy blinds. Like, it is a very strong team to have to go against. They work really well with a bunch of plug-and-play characters for this particular room as well in Stage 4. You got your Captain America with deflex, plus energy, plus clears, plus immunities, plus. You have Jessica Jones, the same thing. Jessica Jones gives them the resistance, cleanses, gives them ability energy. We've seen Daredevils thrown in there because Daredevils give the Secret Defenders 10% base speed, so it really messes with how people understand the match works. So there's a lot of different looks you can put here, and of course, you can put something like Skrull in here, something like Apocalypse in here, and all of a sudden, what would beat them, like a Superior 6, it becomes questionable, right? Because Skrull gets so many turns from a Superior 6 on spawn, lots of rewinds happening all over the place, it can get very dicey. Now, Hive Mind seems to be the solution that people want to use, and I agree with that, because the Hive Mind team does have that on-spawn energy from Void Knight, and it works pretty good, but when you do have a wrench in that system, like the Skrull, it can become an absolute nightmare, because Skrull can start killing people with his base. Again, if Skrull is a striker, and he's popping off on the vulnerables that Robbie's throwing out there, or Black Cat, whoever is a raider on the enemy team, it quickly gets out of hand, because your symbiotes are not very tanky. And if you bring in Red Goblin against a Super Skrull, you are giving yourself so many on-spawn buffs that Skrull feeds off of, and he really takes you to town for doing such a thing. You'll notice here I went in with Apocalypse, Skrull, and the Hive Mind. That went really well. And then on the next attempt, I tried going in with just Skrull and the Hive Mind team with Red Goblin. And you see right there, the enemy Skrull went first, served me up with an ability block, and from here, it got close. It got really close, but I ended up losing. Now, I think Red Goblin comes out of here for Carnage, and I do think Hive Mind plus Skrull has potential here. But the problem is, the Secret Defender team is so damn tanky that if the symbiotes can't get snowballing on them, it goes south super fast with just one symbiote dying. It's really, really unfortunate. But since if you can not bring in Red Goblin, you lose the 60% damage, but you let your Skrull go first. I think that'll be an answer, but then the opponent doesn't have to deal with your Skrull on defense, which will help them, right? So these three Juggernaut teams, the main thing that they do is they stretch your opponent like crazy, like absolutely crazy. Let's go talk about what I think the optimal attack line would be to these three. All right, guys, so we talk about counters to this team. You've seen a few of them in action, and one that we haven't seen, but we're definitely going to see soon. If you want to lay up these three on defense, I think this is the best way to stretch your opponent, and depending what they have on offense, you're either going to have a much easier time on your own offense side, or you're both going to have a miserable time. And then we can start talking about burn attacks and how to get through it. So I do kind of think Masters of Evil with Apocalypse is going to be the safest way to get through the Xtreme team with that Safeguard Rogue is. If you can remove that and get a bunch of controlling effects out there, whether they be ability blocks, disrupts, or just straight death to your enemies, I think that's going to be the best way. Apocalypse helps clear that Xtreme much, much, much faster, so you're not worried about those health triggers. And he's got the perfect kill on the ultimate too, right? Or on the empowered attack. For the Superior 6 team, I'm definitely going to have mine on defense because since they just efficiency neuter your opponent if they do the mirror matchup, I'd rather have to force my opponent to do that mirror matchup and then for me to do whatever other attack they put up there. And then I'll probably be able to one-shot it with new areas depending on what it is, right? Or some sort of creative Doom team or something like that. So the answer to that, if I do have to do that horrible matchup, I'm going to do a burn attack with my Infinity Watch. I've already pulled them off the defensive side. Followed up with the New Warrior team. My very, very big New Warrior team might stand a chance, or at the very least kill Green Goblin. Maybe I got to do another follow-up attack. I'd be very interested to know what you guys are trying on your Superior 6 enemies, if not mirror matchup. Because I've already heard from multiple people, even when they do the mirror matchup, but they throw in Super Skrull or Apocalypse, it's killing the efficiency so much that it's going down to like the last 50 seconds. And here's the thing, if they're using Apocalypse or Sus there, then they don't have them for the other matchups, and that makes it that much harder for them to clear. Again, we're stretching the opponent. And then we have the Secret Defender team. Now, if it's a straight Secret Defender team, there's lots of teams that can beat it. I mean, you could end up using your Master of Evil there, or you could use your Hive Mind team. But if there's a Sus there, it takes away the Red Goblin. You lose 60% damage. You lose so much. It gets really rough. So I'm actually interested in trying to start experimenting with Void Knight, Spider Weaver, other characters that don't have on-spawn buffs, and see what I can do there, but they gotta be tanky. They gotta be tanky, we gotta be able to get some interesting mechanics up, and go from there in the event that there is a Super Skrull standing on the other side of the field from you. But that's it. I don't think there's any true, solid, good answer that has been tested through, at least not by me personally yet. So I'd be interested to know what you guys are experiencing with your other matchups. Hit me up in the Discord, hit me up in DMs, hit me up with whatever you want to share your videos or your pictures of successful or botched attacks or botched enemy attacks. I'm very interested in this season. I think it's really exciting, but definitely leaning heavy on the defensive side. And we haven't even talked about Black Knight coming to the game and flipping things on its head. Maybe Black Knight will be an offensive tool we just use to follow around enemy Skrulls. Who knows? I'm excited for that. I'm excited for this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.